to start from the beginning? Sure. Okay, so I was at the MARTA station going to DragonCon.
Wait, let me guess. $1 coins.
How could he know?
Oh my god!
Are you an wizard? I'm just gonna intro.
Hello and welcome to Too Much Nerd Time. I am the Sonic Wombat, and with me, as always, is the ever beautiful Rumbly Elk.
Thank you, Zachy. I'm so beautiful.
No worries. My brother, Ramy.
Yo.
You may have seen him in Real Talks, Real Walks.
I wasn't Real Talks, Real Walks. I was the large ginger gentleman.
With the yarmulke.
Yeah. And over here is my good friend, Avi Green.
Hi. What's up, guys?
Hello, Avi Green.
Who, oddly enough, is wearing a green shirt.
Where's Matt?
God has a plan for us all.
Illuminati.
Yeah,
So there's a
so
triangle right over here.
Whoa. Not only is there a triangle, there's also like a W for world
literally is an audio podcast. Nobody knows what you're talking about. If you're unfamiliar with the concept of the show, four good friends, we sit in my room and we talk about cool stuff that interests us.
The heck we want.
Am I still gonna be the Rumbly Elk?
Yeah, totally.
And am I
Everybody's by
like
their
the
name.
political peregrine?
Because everybody's by their real name at this point.
I mean, you can.
Mine's technically not my legal name.
I'm the Sonic Wombat / Zachy.
What do I look like? Like, what name am I?
Howard Fidelifus. Can we call you that, please?
I
You call me Howard
I gotta
Fidelifus.
go with like
Only
a...
you.
I think we
Zachy.
should just
I
call
gotta
you
go
the
with like
beard.
a...
The
You're
beard?
the only one we've...
You can call me the beard. I'm okay with the beard.
I gotta go with the Scott.
The Scott?
The
Like,
Scott?
no, Scott.
See,
Oh,
I
Scott.
had-
Scott.
The Scott.
I actually had a beard,
Hey,
but I shaved.
I'm the
it
Scotsman
on
now.
Friday.
I
I'm
haven't
the last.
shaved.
I'm the
Biggest
only one
mistake
on the
of my
podcast.
If you're unfamiliar with the show, what we do is we sit around, we talk about stuff that interests us, not preferably, but most usually winds up being what people would deem as nerdy / geeky stuff. Thanks for tuning in. We're here for the next unknown period of time.
Well, you'll actually be able to know because you can look at the recording and say, "Oh, it's 28 minutes,
Okay,
and 42
guys,
seconds."
We're, adding on
Called
to the gorilla talk.
Yeah.
I'm being dead serious right now. I'm trying to be serious for scientific purposes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not making a joke out of this.
So serious.
But what makes gorillas only have a 1-inch erection, while humans have much more? Just saying that it's evolution.
I didn't follow that at all.
Our first topic, why don't we talk a little bit about DragonCon? Avi
Dragon.
and I spent all day there today. It was...
I didn't go.
Yeah, no,
because
Matsuri.
I do not have the money.
It was a very harrowing experience. It was just so much.
Really? It was harrowing?
We got lost and we couldn't find the train station, and then we made it to the actual con, and then we got lost looking for the place where you buy your passes. And then I was waiting in line to meet Timothy Zahn, and then
The Japanese.
It's just a nightmare.
You hated DragonCon, didn't
I
you?
didn't hate it. I would maybe go back now that I know how it works, but it was just like, for a first experience with a con, it was just like, so much happening, and I have a headache. And I'm
Here's
so
my
tired.
thing with cons that I don't get, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm an introverted person.
Uh-huh.
Fairly. I've been
That's
branching
why you're
out lately.
hanging out with 4 friends and talking into a microphone on the internet.
No, I've gotten better since I worked in since working in customer service, but that's an entirely
That's
different
okay.
story. My understanding is a lot of the people who go to cons are sort of the same sort of introverted, geeky, nerdy type people.
Well, that's the thing, though.
It's kind of like, I guess my feeling about cons is sort of, why would I want to go to a place and pay actual real money
to see
not just
people.
stand in like a big room full of people I don't know,
Period.
and that's it. That's the end of it.
Right? But you can see
like-
important
it's
whether or not they're
people that you
celebrities.
don't know.
You don't know them.
It's like parties, right? Number one reason I don't go to parties because I'm not invited, but number two
That's so sad.
number
Why
two
is it
reason
irrelevant?
is that why do I want to just go somewhere and just stand in a room with people that I may or may not know
Well, here's
and
the
not
thing.
do anything?
It's just like, think of it this way.
It's
A party
like
could
it's like
be-
a party you have to pay to get into.
Well, I mean,
I mean, it's like
I'm a
it's
very,
not like an amusement park or like a
They call
amusement
that a
park.
club.
you see, I'm a very open person, and I generally like
Or
having discussions with strangers. So these type of things are like quite easy.
This
for
kid
me.
was all over the place, dude. He was just like walking up to random people like, "Hey, how are you today? How are you feeling? You know, how are you?
Now
really,
you would be
And
good
Zacky's
customer
just
service.
and Zacky's just
No,
peeking
I was
out
just
from
like,
around a corner.
yeah, I was just like standing there
was he
leaning
doing
against a
that?
wall, just like
No, he was
quiet,
like,
looking down at the floor the whole time.
I would be
like,
constantly
no,
telling.
he was sitting there hiding behind a trash can, and then it moved. It was R2D2. Like,
It was the Gonk bot.
yeah.
Props
So-
for fitting behind the gonk droid.
Yes, thanks. I tried my
it's
hardest.
because he's scrawny.
No, but I'd literally be like saying, Zachy, let's do that funny thing to those people, make that joke, and Zachy was like, no.
I was like,
and then there was this like futuristic Nazi soldier with a jetpack, and I was like, dude, let's take a picture with this guy. And
was he
had
from
this-
Wolfenstein?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
I
But,
think he might have been.
but like he
He had
was,
a jetpack.
but he
Nice little
literally
video.
had
Yes.
a giant swastika
Hang on a
band
second.
on
Hang
it.
on a second. Let's hope he was from Wolfenstein. And not just some guy who's like,
I would.
Today's
Why?
a good day to be in the SS. You know, I really feel when I woke up this morning, I had my toast, and I was just like, I just could really go for some just Jew
I think I
killing.
I think I could
things.
kill some minorities today. That's what I'm doing.
I'm in the mood for some genocide.
Gosh, I just woke up on the right side of bed, just so much hatred, you know?
So yeah, anyways, I wanted to take a picture with Zachy and just make a really awkward picture. And Zachy was like, nope, let's get away from him.
Yeah, but on the bright side,
Now I wish I was there.
yeah, couple
We
good
got
things.
to saw a DeLorean.
Yeah, a couple good things. We
Really.
saw
Because the thing is, I don't generally go out of my way to do that, but if somebody like Avi or somebody's like, hey, let's go do that, I'll be like, yeah, sure. So I probably would have done some of that stuff.
So hang on,
But-
you're like a designated second fiddle.
Yeah, I just follow the crowd. But yeah,
he
now I'm
he
regretting
puts
not being
himself.
there.
He's just like, I will be the late adopter.
Patrick,
Heard about Angry Birds today. Gonna wait a week, then download.
I never downloaded Flappy Bird.
Yeah,
like, on the bright
you
side.
don't want to try it? No, I really do. But I gotta wait a week.
I gotta wait till my mom has it, and she tells her friends about it. Then I'm gonna get it.
and she approves that it's rated G, and I'm able to. It's appropriate for me.
Too far off.
On the bright side, we saw the DeLorean from Back to the Future Part 2, or at least a replica. Had all the props. Had the sports almanac from 1951 to 2000.
Wait, hang on a second. Did the time circuits work? Could you press the button on the time
No,
circuit?
but they did light up, and they had the proper dates. They also had Ooh La La, the magazine.
Oh.
And
Wait.
a
Was
hoverboard.
that functional?
Fair enough.
Did that light up? It lit some. Okay.
And there was a
Don't go
hoverboard,
that far.
so that was really cool.
Was Mediocre Film say? He's been to DragonCon in the past.
I don't know.
Oh, I saw Chad Vader. The people who made Chad Vader like a couple years ago there.
Oh, no way.
And
I
I
don't know
also
what that
also
is.
have Anthony
It's,
Daniels.
I'll show it to you.
It's one of the most classic old series.
That's a
of
classic
It's a
YouTube.
really really old.
Okay.
And then I saw
On
Anthony
YouTube,
Daniels, who plays C-3PO from Star Wars. I got to meet him, got
Oh,
his
yeah?
autograph for free
Okay.
a couple years back.
Okay.
And Patrick Stewart was here this year. I never
Really?
got to see him. He was selling pictures and
Autographs.
for $80 a piece, separate.
Yeah, so if you want a picture with that autograph, you have to pay like $200.
And do you know what? You can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's Patrick mother effing Stewart.
That's true. Yeah.
Post pizza, Stuart.
Post pizza.
I don't know.
He just tried pizza for the first time like a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
It blows my
Why?
mind.
Why
Was
did
it Ian
that wrong?
McKellen who introduced him to it?
I don't know.
It seems like
He-
something they
he
do
went
together.
to
Just
New
watching
York.
their adventures together makes me feel so happy. It just makes me want to like curl up and hug
Yeah,
something.
He actually went to New
They're
York
so-
to try
they're so
New York
nice.
pizza. He went
They're
into
so
a diner.
sweet.
He
It's
sat
like-
down. He got a slice of pizza, and he ate it.
Was there a video of
Did
it?
he eat it with a
I don't
knife
know
and
if there was a
fork?
video. I think he did. No,
You know what?
because it was like the whole classic. He wanted the classic pizza experience, so he folded it with 3 fingers,
Oh.
right?
Oh,
and he
yeah.
ate it, and
Bring me hungry.
and
I
he
could
said
like
that.
grease covered pizza.
And he said that
You
it
just
was
drink some
it was
grease
pretty
and
okay.
have a
It was
piece of
pretty
cheese.
good.
Dude,
Yeah.
I've got
You liked it?
I got frozen pizza at home.
You liked it,
Mm.
So yeah, Timothy Zahn was quite
He was
an
a swell
interesting
guy.
peep. Seemed like a very down to earth guy, which
Timothy
was pretty
Zahn?
awesome. Timothy
I
Zahn.
met him about
That's
7, 8
it's
years
interesting
ago.
that he seemed
once.
down to earth. His face.
All right, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
And shut up. Moving on.
I met him about maybe 8 years ago. I don't even know. He was giving a talk at a library.
Oh, cool.
But the thing is that I hadn't read any of his books at the time. My older siblings had, so they were all like, fawning over him,
And you're just
and
like-
they all wanted to go talk to him and everything. And I'm
That's
like,
a bald guy with weird lips.
Right.
He's not. No,
He
he's not
should be.
special. I watched him go
he should
do
wear
the
a
math.
hat.
Hang on, what if Mr. Zahn hears this, and now he knows you think his lips are weird?
Well, you know what?
That's
He
gonna
thinks
do
that
to
you're a
his
twisted
self-esteem.
person. He thinks that you're a twisted person
What
from
if-
the get-go, so it
What
really
if
doesn't
now
matter.
he
Zahn, if
feels
you're
self-conscious
listening,
about his
He's
lips?
the guy who played the weird Death Star song with the ukulele.
Yeah. Can
That one
can
time
you
at
play it?
DragonCon.
Can you play
Links
it
in
now?
the descript.
Play it right now.
I'll play it right now.
Yeah.
Sing a bar,
Let
man.
me
Sing a bar.
pick here.
Here, you do it.
We gotta build a new Death Star, cause the rebels blew up the last one. We gotta build a new Death Star, so the Emperor can have his fun. I know it's not the most original idea, but still, the concept's badass. Think of all the people we could kill if we built a new Death Star today. The Galactic Empire wants you. And I actually said that to him. I looked him straight in the eye and I was like, the Galactic Empire wants you. And he looked at me and he's just like, you're totally twisted. Just to wrap up this topic. Yeah, DragonCon, really cool experience if you're totally down with just walking around smelling a lot of BO, looking at a lot of boobs and
That
butts.
was mainly me, B.O. Yeah.
And,
I'm
waiting in
I
a
don't know
lot
how
of
I-
lines.
I don't know how I feel about BO, but I'm down for boobs and butts.
Boobs and
Okay,
butts.
no, but it was like
Your
a lot
wife
of
can listen to
unattractive, a lot of unattractive women were.
a butt.
Well, that's
Randy,
that's
let's
all
stop there.
subjective.
Like there was literally like a girl that had like weird tangled roots around her.
Yeah,
It
maybe
was
she
literally
was
like
poison
literal
ivy.
like. But
Did you get
you
a
could
Was she
picture?
poison
literally
ivy?
see her
Zaggy?
ass. It was the weird. Like,
Was she
how
poison
was she
ivy?
let in? It's ridiculous.
Did you get a picture?
Can
I'm kidding.
you
Zachy
send
was too
that
she
to me?
like-
Zachy was too busy looking at his
Completely
shoes.
kidding.
I wasn't that interested. Like she wasn't
Nah.
that hot.
But that's the thing. That's the cool thing about. At least I feel like I'm trying to Well, that's the thing is that
Language.
I feel like a lot of people should realize that you shouldn't have to feel the need to judge or form a strong opinions about people who you don't find attractive who happen to be expressing themselves in a way that shows more body than
Yeah.
you're
But,
comfortable with them showing.
I was uncomfortable around
speaking,
them though.
Speaking of
It's
which, I'm pretty sure at San Diego Comic-Con, a lot of the times, a lot of people who come in and their costume is just paint.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
It's like, what the hell's
Body
up with
paint.
you? What is wrong with you?
But
Put
there's
some
not really a problem.
clothes-
But there's no
Sorry.
problem with it,
I'm
You're like if you don't. The thing is, if you don't like it, don't look at it. If you do like it, tell them so. But don't be first of all, don't be a creep about it. Second
Yeah,
of
if
all,
you're gonna be a
don't be
creep,
don't
if
be
you're
a
gonna be,
misogynist
if
about
you're
it.
gonna be a creep, use binoculars like everybody else.
Yes. So with the coming years, 2015, 2016, we are getting a Last of Us movie, a Sly
Whoa.
Cooper movie, and a Ratchet and Clank movie.
I know
Whoa!
what I want still.
So what movie adaptation of a video game would you like to see in the
See,
coming
I
years?
Mine is,
absolutely know the answer to that already 110%
I'm just gonna
because
get
I've been
mine
wanting
out.
it for
I'm just
8
gonna
years
get
or whatever.
mine out of the way just because I know it's not gonna start much conversation because only you've played it, I think. There's a little known PS2 game made by, I don't even know what company. I don't know if they made any other games ever, called Seek and Destroy.
Talking
Yes.
battle tanks game?
There was no.
Now that I know about Japanese culture, that game makes so much sense. It's just an RPG where you play as a tank and all the tanks talk to each other. Like there are cities built with tanks as pedestrians.
The thing is, the idea is that every civilian has a tank.
Yeah,
And
see,
it's-
see,
That's a
here's
great
the,
idea.
I'm just
the
gonna point
idea is
something
it's a
out.
war-
You just
most of them
said
don't have guns, but the idea is that it's such a war-torn
just-
area and
I'm-
attacks can happen at any time, so everybody just goes around in tanks.
I'm just gonna point something out, Zachy. You just
Yeah, it is a
said
little
now
weird.
that I know about Japanese culture, like now that I've watched some anime and looked at weird people in Pikachu costumes
Right,
online,
I've seen way too many tentacles.
dude.
I'm talking about like squid at sushi bar. What are you talking
Yeah, I
about?
know, right?
Okay, my
okay.
So
Sushi
what
bar,
I've
that's
been
another
wanting since I first.
That thing
Here's
is
the thing.
Japan.
When I don't even know how old I was, but I had a Nintendo GameCube as a kid.
It's a
and
really good console.
It was an amazing console, and I rented Metroid Prime for it.
Metroid would be so
Metroid
amazing.
Prime. I
How's
rented
the game
Metroid
go?
Prime, and then after I played it, like I got part of the way through. I was really young, so I didn't get that far through. Then I brought it back, and like the next day,
Remy, be a little considerate. God.
I'll
So
slap
I-
you back.
so I brought it.
Oh Jesus! Sorry. Go on.
So I brought it back, and like the next day, I rented it again. I rented it like 5 times, and finally, my mom actually bought it for me as a present. Like she actually bought the real game. I was
right, because it got to the point where she was like,
freaking
okay, I can
excited.
either buy it now or wait a month and you'll have paid enough to buy it 3 times over.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much. So that was like my
Rental's
absolute favorite game as a kid, like
Really?
Metroid Prime.
That's crazy.
I played it so
How
much.
old were you?
There was
That's
one
my
thing.
question. Because I watched him play it, Raimi, when I was like, what, 6 or 7? And it was just, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, that's how old I was.
It was just like much reading, much can't just walk around and jump around like Mario.
Yeah, I did not know the story at all.
And much can't look up. That was like the entirety of like my experience with it. I was just like, I have no idea what's going on.
I didn't know about the story at all.
You can look up if you hold your gun with your other hand.
See, this is the thing.
I
The
didn't
only
know
other
the story
first-person
at all.
shooter I'd ever played was Armorines for the N64.
Oh, dude, Armorines.
Gentle. I'm gonna go poop. Keep talking.
I didn't know the story really at all. I didn't know what was going on so much. I just played it. And one thing that I remember is that
while he's gone bad mouthing. He's scrawny. He's like a little weasel, man.
Yes, can't grow a beard.
And when he tries to grow a beard, it just looks like redhead pubic hair.
One thing that I remember though is I was terrified of parts of the game because that game is a lot of like isolation. You're walking through dark, creepy hallways. And I remember the one thing that terrified me the most were the ghosts in the Chozo ruins.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
I always had my older brother play that part for me.
That reminds me of Uncharted. There's a part where you're in an abandoned Nazi bunker, and there are all these like.
Dude, do what you gotta do.
Alright, remind me to talk about Uncharted though.
Oh, speaking of which,
And so what I would like to see is a Metroid movie done in the style of the original Metroid Prime, where it has a silent protagonist. I don't know if I want actually a silent protagonist, because the thing is that in the original Metroid games, I feel like even though you were a silent protagonist and nobody was talking, it was still a ton of development.
In Super Metroid, I believe, it actually opens with there's like a prologue in which Samus is talking to you.
Oh yeah, she's talked in games, but if I remember correctly, she never talked in Metroid Prime.
No, I think the thing is she'll talk as long as she's not being controlled by a player.
She never talked in Metroid Prime.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's literally no one to talk to.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things. So it could make for a really unique
that
movie.
Game just because it was like just such a feeling of isolation. Just to I like the feeling of okay, what happened here?
Yeah. So that's what I want to see in a movie, though, because that's not too common. Yeah, I've never seen a movie that actually has the same feels. So, but the thing is, we have to have details, though.
The thing
like,
is, though,
who's directing?
In passive media like that, though, I find I really hate anything that the whole thing is what happened. Well, you pretty much you're just purposely leaving the audience in the dark in order to create a feeling of suspense or mystery.
Yeah, that could be fine.
It can be, but more often than not, it's executed poorly.
True.
Like with a game, it's very different because you have to actively figure out what's going on. But in a movie, you're just like, okay, character, come on, advance the story so I can go home.
I can see that, but I think we also need to look at like who would play Samus, who would direct it, all that stuff. I want to see J.J. Abrams direct.
Do you know who would do?
And I want to see
who would do Samus?
I have an idea, but who?
Megan Fox.
No.
I'm sorry.
Alright, just before we...
Shia LaBeouf. I would want to see Charlize Theron as Samus.
Johnny Depp.
in terms of scenes in games where you had to have a relative play, when I was like 13 when the PS3 came out, I was horrified of the scene in Uncharted where you're like in an abandoned SS bunker with all these like crazy like Smeagol creatures.
You and the Nazis,
so I made my dad play it.
Yeah.
Was he any good?
I felt so shameful. I like walked into the room. I was like, "Hey, Dad, there's this part." I was trying to be cool about it. I was like, "There's this part in this game. It's pretty weird, and it's pretty spooky." So I was just like wondering, "Hey, did you want to do it?" And then my dad was just like, "Yeah, fine." So okay, sorry.
Okay, my turn for
the feels.
Okay, so of course I have to bring up I feel like I have to bring up Half-Life 2 with literally every discussion.
You do.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with you last night, and it was just.
Well, it's kind
by
of
the way,
cool
in Half-Life 2.
It's kind of cool because it's got stuff like they incorporated like RTS elements into it in some parts.
In Half-Life?
Yeah, because they're like I don't know what they're called.
Oh yeah, where you get Yeah, where you get to send troops to
Yeah,
kill
you get
those
this.
people.
You get like these. It's like these insects from another dimension, and basically
Yeah.
you get like pheromone pods for them, and you
Yeah.
can like squeeze it,
But then also,
and they'll run to
and
you,
all-
or you can throw it, and they'll run to that position. Or
So
if you
remember
hit an enemy, they'll attack it.
That was in
Highway
Summon
17.
Coast.
Highway 17.
Someone-
You know
someone
what else
could-
No,
was
not
there?
Lost Coast.
Lost
That's a like a
That's later.
that's like a demo for later
Oh,
on.
You know what else had that kind of like wide range of like gameplay mechanics was Brutal Legend for the
Yeah.
I've heard you talk highly
by,
of
by
this
Tim
game.
Schafer.
I've heard you talk highly.
like-
It's a Double Fine game. It's just first of all voiced by Jack Black, so
You're
it's
saying
really
it's
funny
Double
game.
Fine, as in like that's the company, or
Yeah,
is
Double
the
Fine
company
with
is
Tim
Double
Schafer.
Fine.
Whatnot. I think
Anyways,
it's Tim
I
Schafer.
I just like to
But
say,
yeah, it
like,
was just like crazy because it started as like a third-person like hack and slash, and then it turned into an RTS, and then
But
it had
see-
racing sims. It was just like.
But
all
see, the
over
thing
which
is,
cool.
though, there's a difference between like that, because I feel like that, like, okay, now you're playing this, now you're doing that. It's sort of like
Yeah, it was a little jarring.
it's a little jarring, but like, see, there's a difference between that and like the way Half-Life 2 did it was you didn't need, and except for like the area where they actually teach you how to do it, but a lot of the extra stuff like leading troops of weird insect
But then also
monsters,
in City 7,
you didn't need to do it. But it was there. You have the option of playing differently. And I think that's something more games need to do, where it's sort of okay. Here's a problem. Here's a bunch of tools. Go crazy. You know.
And I love Half-Life 2 because it's so atmospheric.
Yeah.
There's so much of
That
a
is a thing that I
spookiness
know.
to it.
yeah.
That's
it
why I
is
love
amazing.
Metro.
Just
Yeah,
that
definitely,
games.
definitely.
Just
played
Was it Ravenholm?
Yeah.
This
They're
town?
Ravenholm.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. I was
It's
playing
like
I was on a 3D monitor. Sound turned up. The scariest things when these head crab zombies would pop
I
out.
mean, like that first scene where like you go around the corner and you see what's his name, like the crazy Russian dude. Ravenholm.
Father Grigori.
Yeah, Father Grigori standing there with a shotgun. There's
Hello,
a big pile
brother.
of burning bodies.
Oh,
and all it's just
so
like
creepy,
It's just
so
like,
unbelievable.
What? That is, it's mind blowing.
Valve does such an
thing
amazing
about-
job.
So is that
About
the game you want to
atmosphere.
see as a movie?
That and like Mass Effect.
Mixed.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
Crossover.
Not
A really good playthrough of Half-Life 2 with a good texture pack would probably just be a movie.
It is a fantastic
I would
game.
go watch that.
So when wait, hold on a second.
I think in
When,
terms of just to go off of what we were talking about there, in terms of atmosphere in games, I really think it's interesting to watch the evolution, even watch it backwards. If you go like, for example, The Last of Us just came out, or like any game by Naughty Dog in the past 5 years, they're like playing movies, but they don't feel like you're spending an hour watching a cutscene, then you get to push some buttons. It's like you're playing the cutscene.
Yeah, I don't know anybody
Yeah.
that is. I don't care.
Or like what's the Beyond Two Souls
Yeah.
with Ellen Page. That was
Yeah.
like cutscene after cutscene.
Yeah, I've heard that's just a
And
CG
Heavy
movie where
Rain.
you press buttons off.
Yeah, it was okay.
Like-
But my point is, you have these really well done like atmospheric games, and then like as you backtrack, you lose the cinematic thing. But once you get like into the early 2000s with games like Ty the Tasmanian Tiger or what was it, I Ninja,
Ninja.
and all these weird kind of games that are like weird and like open, and they have weird polygon counts, and it's kind of like there's gray fog for whatever reason, and it's just like there's this really like weird kind of like spooky, like nostalgic kind of
Sort of like a where did these
air
games?
to it.
Sort of like where did these games come from? Where did they go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't even
I
feel
can
like
see
they came
that.
from a studio, you know? They just felt like they were just kind of like
Like, just
part
sort
of
of-
like just
They
a
just
weird
exist
mythos that you
and they're just
found.
gone.
Yeah,
Right.
I had that with
And
with
I haven't
Morrowind.
found that.
I had that with Morrowind because
Well,
Morrowind,
I think part of
the
the
map
reason-
was extremely large for its time. Now it's not so big, but at the time, you know, it was a good sized map. So, and the drawing distance because of the hardware it was on was not very far. It was maybe 50 feet, if that. No, probably far less than that, like
no
30
arrow
feet.
sniping in that game.
No. So the thing
That
is
was fun in
that
Skyrim.
in that game, it just
Dude.
felt like the world just kept going, just kept
Level
on
one,
going, no matter
Earth
how far
level
you
one,
walk.
Just level 50.
When they were on the towers, like the ruined towers,
So you gotta have,
and
like,
just
a
like
fucking stick.
firing arrow at the bandits and just
And you
watching
just
them
see
fall in love.
tumble. Yeah.
It'll
So good.
So satisfying.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This is now the talking stick. Okay.
Yeah, straight up just snatch it. Oh, that's the talking stick? Give me that.
You know what? This is now the talking stick. I have it now.
Wait, who's to say you get to
My arm is the talking stick. Oh, wait, no.
Please don't rip it. Please don't rip
Good
it.
enough.
You're saying?
No, I was.
You were talking about Mario.
No, we
Yeah.
were saying.
So the thing is that the game felt like it just kind of kept going. There were like these silt striders where you could take them. It was like a fast travel system. You could go to parts of the world you hadn't discovered yet, and it was suddenly like you're in a completely different place.
As by the way, with the stilt striders.
Yeah.
What
Silt
the
striders.
heck? They cut a hole in their back, scoop out some internal organs, and call it something to write in. What the heck?
Dude, they're Dunmar. They don't give a hoot.
It's just, why would you do that?
They don't give an empty bottle of Sujama.
I'm guessing that's a Elder Scrolls reference.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad.
Good Sujama.
Safe to assume.
But if I may, just for a second, the reason why you don't get that sort of feel of what is this sort of, I guess we can call it like the sort of lost game feel. Like, what is this? Where did it go? Because every single game is because those were really
single game.
Those were like really the indie games of their day.
Yeah,
if you will.
They weren't AAA
every
titles.
Indie
Side of the Tasmanian Tiger. Yeah, that wasn't a AAA title.
Indie games now though. Hey, visit our website at whatever.com.
Yeah. Hey, you Pikachu.
And then it's like, oh, here's the studio. Here's the picture of the guy who made it with his dog. Here's every single detail about the game. Here's a basic strategy guide.
Here's a link to the Etsy of his mom who crochets things.
It's like, and Mystery Gone.
Yeah. Oh, there's a.
And then you also have like Hey You Pikachu was a really good example of that.
Oh yeah,
such
totally.
a good game.
Totally. It had this exact same kind of feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a
Pokemon
fog game, it doesn't feel like a Pokemon
Game Freak, but it's
like feels like
it's also that feeling of like, and it's sort of like the didn't read the manual, can't Google it feeling, which is like, okay, how do I make Pikachu do this?
Yeah.
What if I can I do that?
It's like
favorite part of that
first
game
moment that you say
when
Pikachu, use Thunderbolt, and it just vaporizes whatever it's holding.
My favorite part of that game is when you go to that island to dig up treasure.
Yeah.
Because that's the first part of the game that just feels open, and suddenly you're not in the dark, kind of creepy woods. Actually, there's no fog; you can see everywhere. But even then, you're like, "What is this place?" It is still that mystery.
I just remember making a lot of salads for Squirtle or
Magnemite was helping with that.
I don't know. I want to play video games that much when I was little. I'd play Flash games on the internet.
Right. Electric Man 2.
Oh,
that was my
so
stuff.
Fancy pants.
Okay, so one of the craziest, best Flash games that I've ever played in my entire life, and I doubt will ever compare to any other game that I will ever play in my entire life, was an indie game called Coma 2. Have you guys heard of that, Coma 2?
I think I've heard of it. Tell me more.
It's very...
All that hype kind of like feathering. Like, we don't really know where this is going. It wasn't something where it's just like, oh yeah. It was just kind of like, okay.
It was the best game ever. It's super amazing. Half-Life 2.
Oh! And it wasn't like, the best game ever, best thing I've ever played, Pong. Where it would just be like a bomb. It was kind of like in the middle. Sorry, okay, go on. Go ahead.
You guys are making me feel so
though,
happy.
don't diss Pong.
It's pretty bad.
But the thing is
it really?
Like, I know it's really basic, but it's the thing about Pong, it never tried to be anything it wasn't, and that which it was, it did well.
No, grab it.
So
you're
Coma
back to
2,
you.
you really don't know what Coma 2 is in the beginning. It's a very surreal game, and
It's like a shooter.
you get hints on writing on the wall, sketched out like, Pete, the main character, the world is a lie. And you
That
think
sounds
you're in
so familiar.
And you think that you're in a dream.
Oh, did you guys play that Flash game that was like a
played.
point and click, a first person point and click with a barcode scanner?
No.
It's really
No.
cool. I'll show you guys.
So anyways,
Link all these games.
It's a-
Links to all these games.
No!
so I think this is one of the most atmospheric, ambiance, creepy games I've ever played.
Yeah.
It reminds me so much of who's the guy that makes like Corpse Bride, like
Tim Burton.
Oh, Tim Burton.
Tim Burton-esque.
You know what? There is kind of like a little bit of Burton, you feel.
Oh my! And
When I
highly recommend Coma 2 to play it. It's kind of like a Find Your Way Out game.
Those are fun. Like the Truman Show, kind of.
I played-
Spoilers!
I can't play those. I just went up.
I played one.
I wound up just going.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, search up Coma. It's not called Coma 2. I don't understand why I said Coma 2. It's just called Coma. There's no sequel. It's just
Look it
called
up.
Coma.
I
Look it
played-
up. I
What if
highly
you made
recommend it.
a game that was a 2 game, but there's no
Like what is it? Trolls 2 or
Troll 2?
no?
Yeah,
like the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember,
Oh
there's
my
no-
god!
There was
They're eating her, and then they're gonna eat me.
Oh my god!
That actually reminds me of a game that I played when I was much younger. It was another Flash game online where, but it was all more like realistically drawn glasses. It was a point-and-click adventure, and I did not finish this game because I was so scared of it.
Spooky.
I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was like you were in this Arctic facility. Where aliens had gone through and killed everybody.
Like it's got like that little bit in the back of my brain was like,
You start in the barracks. You start in the barracks.
There was like a blood on the wall or something. That's like all my brain is out.
The moment where you're like, darn, I overwrote that file.
Yeah, right.
But what made it so terrifying is that the graphics were relatively realistic. I mean, it was a point and click, but the pictures were relatively realistic.
Yeah.
And every now and then, like, when it would go to a new picture, you'd just be looking at the picture for a second. You'd be like, "Oh, okay, this is a cool room." And
something
then
moves.
Something would just kind of like disappear in the background, and you'd be like, "That was a silhouette."
No,
I just realized.
Up the wall, the other end of the room.
That's
like
That's
just
not
nope
that's not
my
where
way
what
off
you do
that
is you
page.
stand up, push your chair away from the desk, stand up, turn the light on, and go to bed.
That's right. And another thing, just to go back to the
I never finished it.
Talking about that certain kind of ambiance that you find in those games is a lot of those kind of games. I have really great memories of just like forgetting the entire point of the game and just playing as the character and making up a whole fantasy and just being a character. Like, for example, in Banjo and Kazooie, walking up the Mayan temple to go get some milk and then walking back down and pretending it's a slide, and then I have to go to the soccer game to watch my kid play soccer. It was just like there was just so much opportunity because it was so open and so just
I
awesome.
think the games that we've also
I was
played.
talking about like Banjo Kazooie and like also this is like Mario 64 in places. I know this was I believe this was partially done due to hardware limitations, but that's sort of like World Hub then level based games where you go back to the World Hub, then you go to this area, you go back to the World Hub, go to that area. One, what happened to that?
Right, that was really cool.
Two, can we please bring that back? Anybody?
Braid kind of did it, but Braid was weird.
Yeah, Braid did it, but Braid was too indie.
Yeah,
guys, can we just? Did you guys
look? I'm indie.
Let me put it to you this way: I saw like a video of the guy who made Braid working on Braid. I'm pretty sure he was sitting like in a local coffee shop on a Mac.
Yeah,
that's the problem with Braid. Sorry.
Guys, can we just say that you guys played Far Cry 2, I assume?
No.
Nope.
No? Oh my god!
Nobody!
No! Okay, I'll tell you the
best reaction to that question that you could have asked for.
Okay, Far Cry 2, all the Far Cries are so unbelievable. Far Cry 2, if you guys don't know, it takes place in a war-torn African country.
Spoilers.
That does not exist.
How old is it?
Wait, if the country doesn't exist, how are you there?
It's like a made up country.
Like
it's a fictional. Okay.
Kalishnikovnia.
It's basically run by.
No, you mean Slovitia.
And it's basically run by an
from
like an
the Fran Drescher movie, Beautician and the Beast. Go ahead.
So it takes in like these anarchy mercenaries are trying to take control of a government, create a government. So if you guys ever played the game, the voice acting. Everybody speaks ridiculously fast. It's like they were in the studio. It says, "Okay, guys, we have a time crunch. We have to fit in all the actors to have 5 minutes. Go, run now! Go, let's go. Speak up your lines really fast."
It was a deadline game and they did voice acting last.
It's like, okay, you have to go to the store. You have to kill everybody there, take all the money, and then leave. And it was like ridiculously fast, and there was no emotion.
Like you go up on the mountain, you need to get the idol. You need to go you need to go into the back room of the temple. You need to kill the bad guy. He's a monster, so be careful. He does these attacks. And you need to hit him in this weak spot. Then you need to leave the temple and come back and give the idol to me. You ready?
Like, okay, good.
Subtitles are like 2 words per scrreen. So there's no hope of like,
with that resolution it needed.
Yeah. You ready? Teleport you to some random point in a jungle.
And the battle music starts.
And you're like, do I shoot the tree?
And they would leave.
Wait, do I have weapons?
And they would leave no room for question. They were like, okay, good, okay, let's go.
One game that was a little bit after that time period, but had that feeling to an extent, but I kind of feel is like a lost gem, where it was popular, but it never. It was kind of on that cusp of being a cult classic, but at the same time not, because it was relatively popular. And that was Taking the Power of Juju.
Oh, nice, yeah. That's like the kind of like the only one that I can think of that was on GameCube.
Yeah.
That really.
Did you
had
play
that
it?
Feel.
Did you play it?
I've seen. I remember when it was like out and like seeing all the cool like Nickelodeon like trying to make it look really cool commercials for it.
And then you played and you're like,
Yeah, you played it. It was just kind of like, this is kind of weird.
No, see, that game was actually fantastic.
I love Attack of the Power Choo.
Thank you. Because when I was
wasn't
younger,
real.
the second game, that one was co-op, and so my friend, shout out to Levy.
Levy!
What up? We always used to play that game.
Right. Just like making stuff up, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, it was like Lego Star Wars, so he always wanted to collect absolutely everything.
Oh,
So-
completion.
I'm one of those though.
You
You can't play a Lego game with me, or you'll just have the worst
I've
time.
heard there are some
You
games.
can't
I
play
don't
a
care
Lego
about
game or a
those.
Rayman game.
I heard
One
one
game,
game.
terrible day.
I heard
I just
one
want to
game.
get through the level.
I don't remember what it was, but like somebody had planned to do like basically like play it and make like a blog post about it, and then play each level, make a blog post about it, and like he announced this, and then like a month later he was like, guys, I'm really sorry, but like there were like literally 2,000 collectibles in the first level, and I had to get all of them. It was like apparently it was like there was like potion ingredients or something everywhere, but it was like each blade of grass you could pick, and he had to get all of them.
Like going through Skyrim and collecting everything from everywhere.
Every
Oh, I
single
did that.
plant.
Skyrim hoarders.
Seriously, if it's not nailed down,
see
it
that?
comes
Yeah,
with-
from Carl Jr.
Yeah.
So funny. Oh, but guys, adding on to the
That's me,
and
ambiance
then,
thing.
and then you get a house and you just dump.
Adding on to the ambiance thing, the PlayStation 2 like opening sequence and opening
Oh,
titles.
dude, that's
Oh,
the
that
stuff,
was
man.
you would get
It was like
launched.
that weird like.
It's also it's sort of like you're sort of like
Had that weird cube or
it's,
whatever.
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
it's
so
like
cool.
what is this place?
Wait, hold on, I
What
gotta
am
It's
find
like
it now.
I'm in,
Oh, here we
it's
go.
Like, it's like
See,
I'm
I
in a
did that with
limbo. I'm in
GameCube.
like an afterlife. I'm in limbo right now.
Right,
Yeah,
you're
that was-
I did that
It's sort of
in-
like you're between.
And that
games.
weirdest thing was when you were like 8 and you forgot to put in a disc one time and it like kept going. And it was just like, we brought you to that weird world where you could like look into your memory cards and they had all the little guys that would move around for the games and stuff.
It was
That was just like the
And,
total
you're just,
mind
and you're just
trippiness
sort of like,
moment.
and you're sort of like, and this is what God sees. When he looks at the earth.
and the whole music for the whole thing, I heard somewhere that if you speed it up, it's the like the Castlevania theme song.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
So freaking cool.
it's like a
I
whole
don't
Easter
know
egg.
about that.
Speaking of like
I-
weird things
when
like
I
that,
was,
on the PS1 version of Metal Gear,
I
Metal
feel-
Gear Solid,
I feel
there's
so left
actually
out
a
of
thing
this.
where Psycho Mantis.
I've never owned a PlayStation.
Oh my god, that is so amazing.
Alright, we'll get to you never owning a PlayStation and Psycho Mantis in a second, but first, I hope I don't get copyright strikes for this, whatever.
Oh my god, like I get chills down my spine,
Oh,
goosebumps
goodness.
every time I listen.
Okay, but,
goodness.
Oh my
But PS1 Psycho Mantis boss fight, weirdest freaking thing ever.
Half-Life 1, that the gigantic monster.
I'm sorry, I don't care. This is weird.
Wow.
Okay, let me just go over this because
Shots
it's like the
fired.
most. Because here's the thing, Psycho Mantis, you walk into the room and he's like, "I'm going to read your gaming history from your memory card," and he starts telling you what save files you have on your card.
What?
And he's like, "Place your controller on the floor," and I'm gonna move with my mind. Then it starts vibrating, so it goes and moves to the side, then and moves to the other side. And then basically, like when you're fighting him, like if you try to go into first-person view, you see through his eyes. And stuff like that. And the only way to beat him, because the idea of the fight is like people keep telling you, basically he's like, you can't beat me because I read all of your moves, right? I know what you're doing. The only way to beat him is to switch your controller from the player 1 port to player 2 port,
Whoa!
and that's
so
how
cool.
you beat him.
That's
That is
fantastic.
so
It's
Stuff
like-
like that needs also,
it's like-
I think, make a return.
I didn't
At
play
least
that. I
once.
just saw a playthrough and I was just like,
No.
oh
actually,
my god.
I disagree, Zaki. Stuff like that should not make a return, simply because people yell and scream about it. I don't need that. I just want my plain controller. I just want to play the game. I don't need motion
Also,
control.
another problem, we don't have memory cards.
Yeah, that made me
We
sad.
don't have memory cards, corded controllers, which is what kept the controller from running across the room.
That's true.
And we
timer.
also don't have controller ports. And I think all of these are things we've lost.
See, I feel kind of left out of this conversation because I've never had a PlayStation.
Because you're lame.
No,
Like
I
the
played-
the closest thing I can think of to this is the beginning of Extreme G3 Racing for GameCube.
Extreme G3.
It has kind of like all these different bikes that move through and kind of form the words, and it's following them on these tracks, and it
The
then
best
zooms
that
out.
1999 could bring us
GameCube
in computer
in
graphics.
1999.
Oh, I thought you said PlayStation.
You had a GameCube
never
in
had
1999?
I was
Dude,
ahead of my
what
time.
the heck?
Do that!
I still play
very
Dreamcast
so
right now.
One DeLorean, I was there.
I still play Dreamcast, guys.
Why?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, let's talk about.
Oh my! I was on
Oh.
Reddit and I saw a guy
You?
that ended up finding an unreleased copy of Half-Life 1 that was going to be on Dreamcast. Like Half-Life
This
1
made you so
never got
happy.
released on Dreamcast.
This made
Never.
you so
He
happy.
ended up finding one.
Well, that's like the guys who found they got like Mother 3 on okay, sorry. Earthbound 2.
Yes.
There's Earthbound in America or Mother 2 in Japan was a brilliant RPG. The thing was though, they actually had plans to release Mother 3, which in America was going to be called Earthbound 2, but it got canceled after they finished the game and made one cartridge.
Whoa.
That cartridge
Are you
was
serious?
later sold, and for years you had people
For
claiming...
$1 billion.
Yeah, for years they had people claiming, here's Mother 3, and you download it and your system would die because it was viruses or whatever. Or
Because
like
it
people
was
would,
a
or like people would do
viruses.
like lame hacks of Earthbound to try to sell them, right? But at a certain point, they sold at auction the original copy of the cartridge for testing purposes. And the thing is, the guy who bought it, the first thing he did was he stripped the ROM off of it and stuck it online for free.
That is the anti-frontier.
That's like
that's like fighting
standing
for the
to
user
sleep.
hardcore. That's what that is. That's amazing.
Tron right there.
That is the
Yeah.
best type of
So,
person.
oh, he ended up releasing.
So yeah, you can go online, right? And disclaimer: I do not condone piracy for the sake of this podcast because we
It's
don't
fine.
want to be arrested.
It's okay.
Okay, because
Not piracy though.
yeah, you're right because you can't buy it.
Anyways,
you can actually go online and download Mother 3, and it is an amazing game.
did he buy it for an Earthbound $1 billion? They had to make up their own number.
I think it was like 20,000 or something.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dollars.
Yeah.
It's more than $12.
That's more than I have owned in my entire life.
Yeah.
Probably.
So it's like Jack
Yeah,
Tretton's
cool.
castle,
No, it's like the east wing of Jack Tretton's castle,
which is made of custom-made $599 bills.
They have a picture of his butt on it next to Kevin Butler.
To be fair, it's like the license. It's like the switchblade cover of the outlets.
What?
He's got electricity. I don't know who
I
this
missed what you
is.
said.
Jack Tretton? Oh, he's the former CEO.
He has electricity?
And his Money Castle? Yeah, don't
Sunny
you?
America, I believe.
What is this?
Where's this joke going?
I
guys?
don't know. I forgot.
Jack Tretton's rich. That's the joke.
And he has electricity in his
Moving
castle.
the hell on. Just to wrap up this topic, I guess, with my answer. A movie that
I forgot.
Yeah. Most of all that I really want to see, and this is something that I heard was kind of caught up in production hell and limbo and whatnot, was a God of War movie.
Ooh.
But the thing is, I don't want
Starring
I
Johnny
don't just
Depp.
want I don't just want Pompeii flavored like God of War.
Oh,
You know,
ew.
I don't want anything like that. I want it to have that weird like in the back of your gut, kind of like a weird shifty kind of feeling
this
when you
is
watch it.
wrong,
Like when you
something.
play the original games that are on the PS1 and PS2, it just feels like
It's not on PS1.
weird and super dark and super gritty and like he doesn't like nobody cares like whether or not you like it. This is just the way that it is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with all of the games that I've played that are by David Jaffe. We can get to a Twisted Metal movie in a minute.
David Jaffe is a
Let's
messed
take
up
a
dude.
minute.
Timothy
Yeah,
Zahn
he's got-
thought you were twisted.
Yeah.
He's not met Jaffe.
No, Jaffe is he's just in regards of like character creation, he is like a god among men.
In terms of like character creation, is he better than Miyamoto?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in my opinion,
You watch your words now.
yeah, in my very humble opinion, I
Is he
think
better
so.
than Todd Howard?
Don't know.
Don't know who that is.
Who's that? Nobody can see that look you're giving us.
Bethesda.
Bethesda?
With
I
Elder
don't think any of the characters in
You can
Bethesda
go to the
games
top
are
of
memorable.
No, I can't think of a single memorable character from a
Other
Bethesda
than
game.
Three Dog, because he sounds like the Chocolate Rain guy.
This is 3
This is Three Dog.
And you're listening to Galaxy News Radio.
But a
But
Twisted Metal movie would also be good if they just
about
did it
a
exactly
Vivek?
like the cutscenes in the Twisted Metal 2013.
Yeah,
2012.
I like how none of us could do 3 Dog properly.
Yeah.
Nobody.
We don't care. Okay.
What do you guys think of like the idea, like a Legend of Zelda movie, but Link is actually mute?
And the only so
And the
basically
only
just
thing-
like the
they
subtitles
could
just
actually
say
make a plot.
yeah.
They can make
No.
a plot point out of that.
No, like the only thing that ever happens is like, do you want me to repeat that? Shakes head no.
no. I mean, you could have
So
something
shakes
like
head yes, stops and goes no, and I'll go.
Link charges in at Ganondorf and
Ganondorf's like,
who's holding
and then, like, a wall of
Ganondorf?
text appears. He doesn't actually talk.
Right. But Link's like,
actually really-
yeah! And the subtitles say, I will save you, Zelda!
That's the way to make it lame.
Is that right?
Just make the whole thing a comedy.
This is turning into a web series, not a movie.
Guys, I have a question for the internet. Who did the sound design for the PS2 opening sequence? Who did the sound design?
Yes, who do I send my love to?
Oh my gosh.
Just in a letter.
Why don't we just Google this?
I think it just gets you in the
That's a
zone.
really- that
It
could be really
immerses you into
I would
whatever
agree
video
with
game
that.
you're
Here's-
about to
I would say the same is with the absolutely.
See those
What?
two
Oh,
intros-
also, you know,
That's the thing. Even though I butchered that, everybody knows what I was doing.
yeah, you know the Valve opening sequence, like,
but like all those.
yeah. Oh my god, that would
With
get me
the- with the
zoned.
nozzle on the head.
That would get me zoned
Dude.
into any Valve game ever. Oh
But
my
like,
gosh.
the thing with all those sequences is it's sort of after a while becomes sort of a cue to you. That's like, okay, start suspending reality now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like nowadays when I play a game, I can't. It's hard. It probably just is because I'm older, but it's really hard for me to suspend reality. Now I sit down and I play a game and I'm like, this is that game I read about on IGN. Oh, I see what they were talking about when they said the frame rate was really
Right,
cool.
because there's no.
Oh, this is a weird part with photo mode, and now I'm gonna go tweet about it on the internet. And it's
Does
gonna be
anybody
weird.
do that,
But
Zachy?
the thing is, back in the day, you know, it really was. It was all
Right,
about that
it was
weird
like all you
ambiance
know
and
about the game is the cover art and the three little screenshots on the back of the box.
just those
That's
three.
it.
And
Three-
sometimes you read the flavor
And
text,
you know what?
but you knew it
The
was
game
worthless.
lived and died by those games in the store.
Yeah.
Like, you picked up the game off the shelf, look at those three little things. If you don't see something cool, you put it right back down. Spent your $20 on something else.
I mean, like, I love that we're where we are today, but I really do miss back then.
Right, no, and
That was a really cool
moving
time.
like
Time
and
travel
moving
theme song,
forward
transition.
and gaining new things, we definitely have lost a lot. And I don't think that's in gaming. I think that's just life in general. If you let me get serious here for a minute.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's just life in general. Like for example, we have a more developed workplace and stuff like that. Well, we've lost sort of for a lot of people. Thankfully, I didn't have to go through this, but we've lost sort of the more traditional feeling of the family home and stuff like that. I really feel that as we move forward as a society, we lose a lot of things we liked that we used to do just because the reasons
the
we
thing.
had for those things aren't there anymore. Like, there's no reason really anymore to stay home and do hang your laundry on the clothesline. But there are some people still alive today who have fond memories of their mother hanging the seeing the laundry out on the clothesline flapping.
And
in
the
the
thing
breeze,
is, we've definitely made progress, but I feel like in the process of making all that progress,
right,
we've lost a lot of the stuff that didn't have to go.
It's sort of like cutting down a forest to build a skyscraper. Yes, the skyscraper is amazing,
And not even a skyscraper. Could just be a kid park.
well,
you
no,
know?
I'm going somewhere with this, but it's like, yes, the skyscraper is amazing. All these people can live with it. It's got all these wonderful things. The art inside is great. The architecture is brilliant, but it's like you're never gonna get those trees back. They're gone. The forest, it's
And the
not to be sad
Kinda
about
make
it.
Kind of make my lip quiver a
Oh
little
my
bit.
god.
Or it's
I'm
more
such a
like it's more like
nostalgic
cutting
guy.
down a forest to build a field of crops. If you want to go more agricultural and less, industrialist concrete glass evil. It's sort of like, yes, you've progressed. You're making something that's more useful, but you don't have that sort of mystical, what's out in the woods, what's among the trees. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't want to say it's a bad thing because it's not, but
It's really
It's
simple.
It's a
basically-
choice.
what it is, it's the world it's making the world smaller.
I think it's a choice. We're just placing our priorities on something else.
We're not making the world as mysterious and as unknown as it used to be.
Right. What do we?
Oh, it's so tasty.
That's what they have to play at spas. Just
Yeah, that
I,
Oh man.
that'd be brilliant.
yeah. Oh,
But,
there's a Death Note soundtrack. Do you know Hideki? I may be getting it wrong.
Hideki in your
Hideki
pants.
Tanshuito, maybe. He made the soundtrack for Death Note, and one of my favorite things is he made a really good soundtrack for Death Note, and very atmospheric. It reminds me a lot about the PlayStation.
Did you watch
opening
Death
sequence. No, I just listened to the
I
soundtrack.
mean, I tried to watch Akira
Kira.
because I heard it's good. the totally legitimate download that I got didn't have subtitles or English dubs. So I was just a lot of watching people speak in a language that I don't understand.
Like, it's that moment where you watch a movie online.
And then one time there was a dead guy. That was weird, right? It's just like you're watching a thing, and then like normally when you'd be like, I remember way back when, but you don't know that. It's just like, Hashikuda, and then there's just like a dead person, like a dead mom or something. It's like really weird imagery.
It's like you're watching. It's like you're watching. It was just like it's an artistic. It's supposed to be an artistic thing.
Yeah. And
like you understand by the context, but you don't have any context. It's just like, there's a flower and a bug crawling on it now.
He's talking. That sounds cool.
Oh, now there's a castle. Okay. But it's
all right.
I just want to go back to what I was saying before because I've really just got the feel to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Just like I think there's one more thing. It's sort of interesting that it used to be that the mysterious, sort of like the mystery. I'm gonna speak a little weird. This is gonna be a bit weird.
That's okay.
It's sort of the mystery, if you will. The place that's mystical and strange and unknown used to be just behind your house. That patch of forest over there. You don't know what's back. You think there are fairies and elves and witches back there.
I always
nowadays,
and warlocks.
Nowadays, we've found out so much about the world we live in. It's gotten to the point that like we're just getting. I feel like we're just getting past the point where we're like, ooh, maybe there's something interesting down the ocean. To where we're going like, at this point we just have to pretty much say maybe somewhere out in the universe there are these weird things, because it's like sort of as our understanding of the world grows. I feel like the sort of sense of mystery that is there never goes away. It just moves further away from us. It just moves to that point that is just beyond our reach. Yeah. That point we just around the corner,
So it's like I don't know. One of the last questions that I have for you guys is: do you think that video games have evolved for the good or for the bad? Are you so happy with?
Yes.
What?
Both.
Both.
That's the thing.
I would agree with that.
And I agree with that. And because, for example, The Last of Us versus, and I know you guys haven't played it, but games like Tak and Power of Juju. I'm just gonna use as an example, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
Never played.
I know.
Wonderful. You're a Tasmanian Tiger.
It's like Tak and the Power of Juju ish. Same kind of feel. But it's
awesome.
I mean, The Last of Us. It's amazing. It's a cinematic experience. I sit down and it's like watching a movie that I'm totally like enveloped in for 17 hours. Literally like 17 hours of just like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. And like, this is beautiful and this is awesome and I want this as my screensaver and I want to just think about this and write about this, Mm-hmm. And this is super cool.
You want to make love to it.
Maybe on an off day.
Maybe not the tiger. Maybe not the tiger.
Hole in the disc is pretty small. Moving on.
I can make it.
Don't flatter yourself, Zachy.
All right. Okay. All right. but looking back, there are a lot of those really cool like features where it's just like, like you don't know where it came from and it's weird and mysterious and like even now that's why I bought the God of War 3-pack from PS1 and PS2. It's like because it feels so like weird and gritty and not natural.
And I think that love for a game just never goes away.
It doesn't go away, but it's hard to get that with I feel
with
games
nowadays.
Nowadays
so
it's all about making it a cinematic experience, an enjoyable experience. But back then it was like mystery,
But Last of Us had that. Do you think it did? I think it.
See, playing it, I don't really feel like it has had
on
so much.
On the subject of like old games and things we've lost and stuff, I like to jump back to games like Mario 64, Tasmanian Tiger, all those games that are like go out and get X number of things.
Yeah, and
what happened to that? That was fine.
Like
that was
quest.
Yeah, now people actually they made up a name for it. It's like what did they call it? Like
quest?
A collectathon
Fetch.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Fetch quest.
It's good though. But like it's not really
it's
Fetch
fun.
Quest.
I want to go around and collect all the magical eggs. That's
Fetch
fun.
Quest is go kill 50 bears,
back
bring
in
me 5
Dexter.
hearts.
Yeah.
That's grindy, but this is more. It's like
we can talk about.
It's like
Jack and
build.
Dexter?
It's like you have a measure of how far you progress in the game. It's there in numbers. 50 out of 120 stars. You're like almost halfway there. It's awesome.
Yeah,
and
there's literally like a feeling of percentage progression.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And it's like, what happened to that? It vanished.
He brings up a great game, Jack and Daxter.
Jack and Dexter.
Jack and Daxter.
I want to live on the island so bad.
Here's the thing. The first game,
Standalone
standalone, was the best, exactly what all it could have been, you know? And the sequel was completely different, and that was good because it still had the same weird feel, but it was completely different game mechanics.
And you know the thing? I never played the third one,
Amazing.
but it's like the first game, for the period of time it was in, the types of games that were going on, it was up there. It was, I'm not going to say it was the best, but it was like one of the best. It was the top percentage of that genre of game.
It was
at
like
that
there
period
with
of time.
Ty and with
Right.
Banjo-Kazooie.
For
and
that
with
period of time, for the style of games that were being made, it was
It's the
one of
only
the
game
best.
I know, man.
You're just sitting in the corner. Tack was really good.
I never had a PlayStation.
But then,
I
like,
didn't need a PlayStation.
You know, there's certain
And then
like
the-
places that are in video games where like, oh my gosh, I want to live that I want to be there.
Sandover Village all the way.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty
definitely.
much.
Can I just,
Oh,
can I just
absolutely.
wear my Jesus sandals and
Absolutely.
live there?
Yes.
Please?
Oh my god, and just
With
running
like the weird, oddly proportioned elf people. I don't even
and just,
mind.
and
Yeah,
just
it's
running
fine.
around in that
Whatever,
beach with the
just
crabs
hang out,
trying
just
to get
eat
you.
some fish. Just
Well, see, the thing is, most of the games that I played, I really didn't want to be in those places. like Morrowind, you don't want to live there.
no.
Or Half-Life 2. Oh god, no, thank you.
But
Attack of the
those are
Power
both-
Juju, there are some places.
Those are both games where I think I feel sort of like the world is big and scary. Go.
Yeah.
You know, it just plunks you down this massive world, and it's terrifying, and there are things out there that want you
And
to
the
kill
cool thing is, they
But
don't
Jack
always.
and Daxter was not like that. Jack and Daxter, most
Magical.
enemies take like 2 hits to kill. You're fine.
so
You can survive, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of places
And
that
when
are
you
safe.
you have 3 health bar, you have 3 hits, and then you die.
Yeah, and it's like it's so simple.
And the cool thing is, you can see all of the like there are no excuses. You can't go to the next area because there is lava that will kill you if you touch it.
right?
So
yeah.
it's not just like, oh, there's a guy at a gate who's like, no, you have to bring me the magical stick from Princess Zelda and letter
Gorlo.
2, and then you can.
There's a
feed the
Snorlax
rocks
in your
to the
way, and you
Gorons.
can't climb over it.
Well, don't diss Snorlax. Right.
And
That was actually
Spirit
pretty
Pokemon.
valid because it's like it's
Snorlax has
a
blocked your
really
path.
it's actually pretty hilarious. It's like this,
Yeah.
it is this massive fat thing just sleeping in your way. You have to find a way to wake it up. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But where it's things just like the umpteenth guy standing there saying, "You need the blue key."
Yeah, you know.
Why can't you just wave your sword and just slash him in half?
Right,
Just,
yeah,
get
like,
past
it's
him?
But that's
like-
the thing. In Jack and Daxter, it makes
Right,
sense.
it's
I
a
can't walk
situa-
on lava.
And
Right,
like
yeah,
you
it's a
can't go to the next
situation-
island, or that humongous creature beast is gonna
Right,
kill
yeah,
you
and it's a
drown you.
It's a situation where the answer is the most intuitive answer. I.e., they don't say, "Oh, there's a shark in the water." But
Oh,
instead
jeez.
of taking, but it's
Hold on, we get that. Go on.
But it's like let's say for example in Jack and Daxter they'd given you a raft to cross small pools of water with in the beginning. Okay, let's just imagine that. Let's just imagine that. Okay. If they'd done that, then said, "There's a shark in. I have a raft. Why can't I? No, there's a shark in. I can sail across.
Yeah, right.
No, you need to get the shark repellent. That would be bad. But
Bat
it's a
shark.
matter of. It's a matter of like. It's a matter of you can't cross the water by swimming. Solution: get a boat. You can't cross the lava. Solution: find something that can carry you
a
across
lava
it.
bike. Here's
Right,
the thing.
but hang on a second. But that's very different from like oh, this dude's in your way. Why can't I just punch him in the face? Because seriously, I don't like. He's an unlikable character, but I have to do what he says just because it's no. Something like going to Legend of Zelda, how they say you need a sword and a shield. Well, I just want to punch that guy in the face. Like at a certain point, you get a sword, but if you don't have a shield, you still can't get through.
But to an extent, that makes
So
sense,
it's like,
because you're still
why
going to
can't
die
I
if
just
you don't
pick,
have a shield.
right? But why have that mechanic? Why not have like, for example, they could have put like a stone statue there that guards the way that you have to like walk up to it with a sword and shield, and then it does like a tiny little battle that teaches you some mechanics of combat.
A
And
lot
then,
of the time, that
like
person does.
like it just
but-
spars with you, just sort of like prove your courage to me. And the thing is, you can't punch a
I don't-
statue in the face.
I don't know. That part doesn't really bug me as much. What I think is interesting is some of these series that are still ongoing.
Series.
Like the plural
That's
of
the plural.
sloth.
Series.
What's the plural of sloth?
Sloth.
him.
Sloths.
Not
Slothy.
slothin. Sloths.
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 That's like a hard.
Sloths.
Sloths.
Like the
Sloths.
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 Alright, sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
I feel like you should add another th at the end. Sloths.
We had a thing about that in
Sloths.
like pre.
You guys
La,
made
la,
a
la,
sloth
la.
song.
Let's forget that. Yeah.
Thinking of old TMNT stuff. All right.
Old painful memories.
Find it on SoundCloud. I don't remember the address.
Where is this gonna be?
Screw that old podcast.
I think
It's on
that
YouTube.
I think that one of the places, one of the
YouTube
series that's
language.
actually kind of lost that, and I don't want. I feel bad dissing this series because I actually really like the series still. Is Pokemon. When I was much younger, the first Pokemon game I ever played was Pokemon Ruby, and that one was
With Groudon.
yeah, it's Groudon. That one was confusing. It was mysterious, and I played it. I was really young when I played it. I played it on my Game Boy Advance SP.
Nice.
And
You're the SP.
You're so cool.
I wanted a micro. My mom would never buy it.
I had to share a regular advanced with like.
With like the thing with the like the magnifying glass
Yeah.
attachment and like the light attachment because I didn't have the backlight. It was terrible.
we had
This
to
is
share
my
it.
final
The three of
four.
us had to like me, Zachy.
I want to talk about Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance was not a good time in my life.
It was a very good time.
Going back and playing those games on the emulator.
But
Wonderful.
but that was the first one that I played, and when I was very young when I played that, and I played it for months, like literally months, before I even realized that there was this whole town that was floating off on the water that I ever went and actually looked at, and then a little bit later I got an original copy of Gold, the original Gold version,
Oh, nice.
and that was like black and white.
Right, yeah.
And there was this creepy 8-bit music and there were people that like talked in like weird ways with the text and old people in ruins, and it was like the freakiest stuff in a Pokemon game.
Right.
Right, yeah.
There's a lot of dark stuff in Pokemon games. I don't really want to talk about it. But,
Game theory discusses a lot about this.
yeah.
Oh, and
but
game
then-
theories, they never talk about Half-Life.
Let it go.
Okay.
Let it go.
Finish his thought because I have two
Yeah.
really cool places to go with. From
So
this.
I mean, in some senses, it felt like that series used to have a lot of the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's lost a lot of that. Like not even going up to the most recent thing. Like Pokemon X was the most recent I played. But going back even to
Team Y.
what?
Team Y.
Team X.
Team X.
All the way.
Team Rocket!
I will take both of you on right now.
Nervous system deer creature. All right. Not weird. Hand bird. Go ahead.
Okay, so but the thing is like
suck, though.
even going back to Pearl, which I played. That game was still, it was kind of, it was bright, it was a little bit 3D, there was some depth to it, you could see a little bit farther, there was color, there was music.
Right.
And, I don't know, I feel like it's lost a lot of its kind of creepy edge.
Yeah, X, not even spooky.
I mean, it's a good game.
It is, yeah.
It's a fantastic game, but it
Just,
doesn't, I don't know, there's something missing.
Just as a question to you guys. And this might be a little out there, you may not remember or whatever. What was your the first, like, RPG, or, like, I'm not going to say RPG, but game that actually had depth to it that you really got into?
Oh, man.
Like, something that you just played for hours and hours, and you just kept, like, you know, honing your skill at it.
Well,
Yeah, so for
you
that,
guys have
for that I
sure
would have
know
to
my
stick.
game.
Wait.
It's-
Paper Mario.
Pong.
Yes.
Yes, guys, all from
Snake.
No, what I would say was my
Speaking
first
of,
game for
actually,
that was
probably watching
Metroid.
him play.
Was Metroid Prime.
I think watching Raimi play Metal Gear Solid 2. No, I'm serious.
Watching him play?
It was a lot of my childhood was watching him play like more advanced games and just like really watching him get into it and getting into it because of it. Like Metal Gear Solid 2, I know what happens in that game. I can't explain what happens in the Metal Gear story arc or how it fits in, but I know what happens in Metal Gear Solid 2, and I know all the different like cool different places you can go and all the different dialogue and all the cool little hidden secrets and the Easter eggs and whatnot. It's watching him play that was like a really cool
That
experience.
was a good game, but
Was it as good as-
damn.
What?
Sounds good as hell.
The sad thing about Metal Gear Solid 2.
Half-Life was the
Going off
original for
topic.
me, though.
The sad thing about Metal Gear Solid 2 is that I loved that game the first time I played it. Sons of Liberty was amazing. I loved it. The thing is, though, that was before we really had standardized controls for first-person shooters, or for, shooters in general. So in that game, like, X is fire, and, control stick moves, and if you want to go to first person, you have to hold down R1, and then use the left stick to look
It's
around.
like button
reminds
mapping was
me-
just like, what's this?
It reminds
It's
me
a
of
thing
Mirror's
with
Edge.
sticks
But
on
the thing
it.
is,
It reminds me
going,
of Mirror's Edge.
I tried recently to go back and play it.
No, those were amazing controls.
I tried to go back and play it, and the thing is, I found it completely unplayable because I'm so trained at this point that right stick is look, left stick is move, you know, R1 is fire. And it was just like, I tried to retrain myself to I just couldn't do it. Because the thing is, it just wasn't possible. Like, to give you an idea, R1 was right punch, and L1 was left punch.
Yeah, that's weird.
No, L1 was look.
What?
And it was just like,
That's
it was confusing, and I just couldn't get back into the game, which really saddened me. But that's...
turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Half-Life 2 was not surprisingly the first one, okay? The first one, way back when, was Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter.
Really?
Alright.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, Avi, we should
And
give you...
Sly Cooper.
Avi, we should give
that
you your own show. We should give you your own show just called Half-Life with Avi.
Yeah. Right. No, but yeah, definitely Sly Cooper. That
Sly
for me,
Cooper.
certainly Sly Cooper. I can quote that game to you front to back. I've played it 14 times, man.
What's the opening scene?
Opening scene? Oh, please! It's the intro credits with the silhouette of Sly Cooper running across Paris.
It was the first line of text in the game.
Sly, come in! Can you hear? Do you read me? That's what it is. It's Bentley, and he's being all lame. He's like, yeah, I read you loud and clear.
What's the third
I
level?
read you loud and very
loud.
loud.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
What's the third level?
Am I seeing Vertigo or something?
Zachy,
Third
what's
level?
the third level?
Yeah. So first level is the intro is Paris. First level is the guy, the frog with the engine, Raleigh. Mugshot's the second one. Third one is the swamp, the voodoo swamp, Miss Ruby. I just want to touch real quick. First of all, in regards to like playing a whole game, you were talking about Pokemon Ruby. You found this island, playing a whole game, and then realizing there's more to it. Portal 2 had me doing that twice.
Portal 2
I was like,
also so awesome.
Spoilers for Portal 2, but it was like, oh, we're gonna make it out. Cool. Oh, there's an entire 2/3 of a game left.
Oh, that moment.
The Dark
I
Knight
didn't
had
see
me like
anything
that.
And
before
this
that.
is-
It was
The
just
Dark Knight had me like that.
This is
There
also
were like
my
5 times I thought the movie was going to
This is also my response to the original question. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Oh man.
I played that game through. I was like, yes, final boss, gonna do it. You know, got all the thing. It was one of those collect the 5 whatever magical, butt trophies or whatever. Gather them together, get the Super One, beat the guy. You know? Yes, awesome, final level. New like the magical thing that the final boss got splits up, and turns out you've just played 1/10 of the game.
Yeah,
That thing you spent 5 hours working through, that you ground all those enemies, all these awesome things. Yeah. Also, that combat system you were using? That's simple. That was the tutorial.
Yeah, right.
Here you go.
Those games
And that-
certainly amazing.
it's
I love
like-
them a lot.
It's like a standard JRPG though.
Yes, it was.
Like
It
70
was.
hours.
It
to
was
the
Mario.
story.
That's
It
the
was
best
Mario
thing.
as a JRPG, and it was astounding. And I'm just gonna say, every time Mario does an RPG, and starting with Super Mario RPG was
And
the first
Paper
one I
Mario.
played. Then Paper Mario.
Watching you play those two.
Paper
those were
Mario
really
was okay, but
Thousand Year
Paper
Door
Mario
was the
Thousand Year
bomb.
Door, that is, I don't think I'll ever play a game as good as Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
That's a great.
Like Paper Mario,
Is that your favorite
and like
game?
the Wii version, such a disappointment. Because the thing is, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door,
Was that your favorite game?
probably yeah. That's like if you told me like at any point in time, if you walked up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to play some Thousand Year Door?" I just immediately say yes, let's do it. It's
Do you want to play some Thousand Year Door?
yes, I do. Right now.
So that's about all the time we have for this episode of Too Much Nerd Time. Before we go, I just want to bring up a few things. 1, beach levels with sharks.
Yes.
2, underwater levels where there are things under the water with you. 3, that damn piano in Super Mario 64.
Oh!
That said, thank you for tuning into Too Much Nerd Time. We're back, baby, and we're beautiful and busty and buxom and amazing. I ran out of beats.
Butts.
Butts. We're butts too.
Bootylicious.
Oh, we got that.
We all twerk on the way.
Yeah. Work on the mic.
We are all
butts.
hang on, we are all twerking now. Now we're making out. I think we're still technically at war with Canada.
Yeah, the Great War of what's it called? Canada and North Dakota, something like that.
I don't remember, but they
Canada.
tried to annex Canada, and then it was basically Canada is the Russia of America. everybody goes, we're gonna conquer it. It's a bit cold. Let's go away.
There's a funny
Napoleon,
war.
Hitler, everybody.
No, there's actually there's a article on Wikipedia. I don't know if it's still around.
An article.
Like,
Grammar. Go ahead.
There is
Greeks
a article. No, there's an article on Wikipedia where basically the entire article is a hoax, and it keeps getting deleted and then reposted and then deleted and reposted. And the thing is that what it talks about is this like massive war that happened, I want to say, at the end of the 1800s between North Dakota and Canada, where there were like thousands of casualties and massive battles fought on the border of United States of America and Canada. And people will actually read the article on the off times that it's actually up, and they'll be like, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was that war.
I better report that to my school and put it on a school report. My teacher would enjoy this a lot.
And that's why you don't cite Wikipedia.
I was on a Wikipedia page and I discovered, and I think this is actually true, that
the thing is,
Australia waged a war against emus.
Emus?
And they technically, strategically lost.
Well,
nature will find a way.
The other problem with Wikipedia is that you, a lot of the time people think that they're correcting something, like, oh, that's wrong, and then they correct it, but it was actually wrong. The classic example is hippopotami. Because hippopotami are one of the world's most dangerous animals. They're really aggressive, they're very dangerous, but people don't think of them like that. So on the Wikipedia page, it says that, and it keeps getting changed to, no, they're actually really docile.
I always thought they were just hungry.
Exactly. And then it gets keeps switching back.
No, hippo will just...
Like, no, they are giant, waddling
You
murderers.
walk into a lake with a bunch of hippos, you just throw marbles at them, and they're like, they're really docile. I don't know why they're doing that.
No, but hippos, hippo can bite a crocodile in half. I saw like a video on this is a Frank video on koalas, on marsupials.
Yes.
Koalas apparently are smooth-brained.
Really?
So they're actually literally incapable of thought.
Are you serious?
So that means, like, the example given was if you took a koala, right, and you give it a plate filled with eucalyptus leaves, the food they eat, the only thing they eat, entire world, it'll just sit there, not know what to do with them, and then starve to death. Because it is incapable of going, this smells like food.
Wait, but how do
Maybe
they
it's
survive?
food.
How do they survive in the wild?
They pick it off the tree.
Well, how do
If
they
they're
know?
not picking it off the tree, they don't know.
They don't know how to
It's
survive.
just like
it's
muscle memory, basically.
Yeah, it's entirely. It's like an insect. Like it's sort of like an ant. If you put a bit of food, like just out of its reach on a wall, it'll just stand there trying to reach for it until it dies.
The only thing that's keeping animals from bridging the gap between animal and like what we identify as like intelligent, like humans,
Human intelligence,
is the fact that
We're so smart.
one, animals can't remember things, and
They
two,
remember things.
Okay,
Like detail.
they can't remember super detailed stuff or processes necessarily.
I feel like that's
This is vague.
Their memory just becomes
But
instinct.
here's the clincher. Whether or not one is 100%, is that they can't necessarily pass down to later
Right, but
generations
see-
and evolve.
But see, here's the thing.
Well, I think that all
intellectually.
spawns
Here's the
from the
thing,
same common root.
Some studies have shown that the actual only thing that separates like one of the great apes from a human is that we can throw rocks and we have good aim. That may sound strange, but the type of cognitive reasoning it takes to aim something effectively when you throw is related, I believe, don't quote me on this, I'm not an expert, is related to the sort of cognitive reasoning that allows you to develop language skills. Like, to give you an idea of how precise the timing of our aiming is, when you're halfway through pitching a baseball, like, when you're halfway through the swing, the signal to release the ball is in your elbow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
I'm pretty sure that I have a disability. Because I can't aim
What a
when throwing
surprise.
something at all.
What a
Really?
surprise.
Everybody.
Open chair.
All right.
Open chair.
Don't throw
Hit that hamper.
No, come
Wait,
on.
did that hit?
Yeah, hit that
That's
hamper.
not,
nice.
that's not far away.
Uh,
No,
An
no,
ape
but like
can't do-
tossing a rock
Right, but
at a
an
very
ape
wide
can't do that.
tree.
An ape can't do that.
I'm not an ape.
Congrats.
Wait.
All right.
Wait, I don't have a tail, so I'm an ape.
That don't.